Believe it or not, the CS market is already close to all-time highs in market cap again. That's absolutely insane, even though a lot of skins are still down over the past 30 days. But beyond that, I want to talk about the skins that nobody talks about. The stuff that you could hold for years, suddenly come back to your inventory, and what the hell, it's worth 4 times the amount it was. So today, let's get into it. Once again, looking on Price Empire for these prices. They are not a sponsor, but they are a lovely site. So let's start with the M9 Boreal Forest. Let's look at the all-time chart. Only goes back to 2020, but like most of the charts you'll see in this video, that's all you need to see to know this is a great skin to hold. From 5 years ago, this thing is 5x'd in price. $115 to $540 for such a boring skin. Who the hell wants an M9 Boreal Forest? But the great thing about skins like this is that they're in very expensive cases. Now, there's a lot of skins like this. You could all be focused on the Dopplers, the Marble Fades, the Fades, and stuff like that, but stuff like this is honestly outperformed in a lot of cases, or at least done very, very well. As you can see, the M9 Boreal in some very expensive cases, as we could see, the cheapest case here, I believe, is still the Revolver case, and even then calling that case cheap is it's not even really true anymore. Steam Market, can you load for me? Let's check the Revolver case price right now, and we could see the price trend is very similar to the knife itself. This thing is $4, and the reason I cover it is because it's the cheapest case that you could get the M9 Boreal Forest in, from 3 cents back in the day, and now it's worth $4.20. And as we could see, once this thing started blowing up, a lot of knife prices followed. Of course, all the knife prices in that old case, not just the Dopplers, not anything like that. This thing absolutely blew out of the water. And if you believe in the case market, if you believe in the longevity of the game, you better believe in play skins, especially the boring ones, because people are always going to want their knives. Different people have different budgets, and still $500, $550 or so for a half-decent knife in the M9 Boreal Forest. It's somewhat clean. It's a good knife in itself. Obviously, the skin's not great, but it's not like it's absolutely disgusting. It's a good item to buy and hold for the extreme long term. And you could argue that, sure, it could come back down to pre-hype levels, and I still think it can, but considering the case market has held up incredibly well over the past month and is already consolidating after it went through this massive spike up in price, almost doubled in price, and is still consolidating here, I would completely argue that the play skins are completely fine to hold, and I've always held my play skins. I love them.
This video is sponsored by Skins Monkey. If you've been looking to trade out your old boring skins for new ones, Skins Monkey is the place. By clicking the link in the description, you'll get a 35% deposit bonus when depositing with cash and crypto, and up to a free $5 bonus on your first trade. So be sure to click that link. Skins Monkey also has the freebies tab where they run 24/7 giveaways that are completely free to join with crazy skins. And if you're looking to actually get your hands on some good skins, Skins Monkey is the quickest way to do it. So be sure to get that free $5 and 35% deposit bonus now, trading your CSGO skins with that link at the top of the description.
I should also cover with the case market as well a few other cases, just to kind of emphasize the point that they hold up well. This is what you want to see. CS20 case went from around a buck. This only goes back a month, but it did go from around a buck to a buck 70% gain rather, and now it's consolidating in around $1.60. These are some of the much cheaper cases in the game nowadays, still at $1.60. And if it consolidates here, like it did here at 60 cents, it's going to do that for a long time and then blow up again. What do you think are going to happen to the skins in it? Nobody's telling you to invest in classic knives or the fact that they've probably increased in price massively over this time period as well, but they're still very good to hold, and so are all the old knives as well. We could check the all-time charts on the classic Crimson Web. Had a bit of shaky price action, and this only... Oh no, it does go back to 2020, but still, this is the kind of stuff you want to hold for a long time. I wish the knives had more demand, I really did, but if you don't believe in knives like this is an alright chart to buy, but I mean, you'd be buying M9 Boreal Forest, Karambit Boreal Forest at like all-time highs. Despite the case being at all-time highs in CS20 case, the knives aren't, so I think during a hype spike eventually, they're going to blow up a lot more, but I still think they're solid play skins to hold for a long time. But you do got to realize the demand in the CS market kind of stays between the same few items. The Phase 2 Dopplers, as you could see, have blown up absolutely incredibly. Since they became so good looking in CS2, they've had a lot of spotlight on them, and they've had absolute blow-ups in price. But still, from $2,200 to $5,500, that's only like a 2.5x. When we look at the older play skins, they've 5x'd in a few years. So pretty good. So We'll check the Karambit Boreal Forest as well, just to show you guys some other skins. I am a big fan of these OG skins, the ones that are in the cases that I showed you guys. Bravo case, the revolver case, whatever you pick it, one of the old cases. Of course, there is a Spectrum knives as well. There's so many other knives. There's the Karambit Gamma Doppler. You don't even need to look at the phase 2 or anything like that. You don't need to buy any of the crazy phases, because these knives, what is the cheapest phase right now? It's a phase, it was the phase 4, but this is the same chart pretty much. Gamma cases have gotten ridiculously expensive, and look at that price blow up, man. Once again, like a 2.5x. And just a normal Karambit Doppler, not a crazy phase, not anything like that. We'll see where this thing consolidates at, but once again, with the Gamma case getting so expensive, long term, it's great, but it could still come back down in price. I would argue at this point that since it had such a strong move off of like 3,800, if you could get this thing at 3,800 or somewhere in the 3,000s again, that'd be a great buy. Is that going to happen? I don't know. Price action has been so volatile over the past few weeks, and the player count's so high, there's just so much demand that you really don't know at this point. That's a safe thing to do, and at bare minimum, the safest thing to do is wait for some consolidation in the skins. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the boring stuff. The Damascus Steels, did I just show this? I might have dementia, but the Damascus Steels are another really cool knife. They've blown up a lot since CS2, since they actually do look really, really solid. You could see during the initial CS2 hype, they got to the levels we were at now, and they crashed pretty massively, consolidated once again, and now they're climbing back up again. I think a lot of these knives are going to hold much higher levels than they did previously. I think the CS2 hype was a bit unjust because the game was heavily unfinished and people weren't happy with it, but now game's in a much better spot. Player count's a lot more consistent. It wasn't just like a massive blow up when CS2 got released and then the massive drop off. Now we consistently have the player count. We've got the major coming up, hopefully in operation after, and that means we're going to have a lot of newbies in the game and a lot of people wanting to spend money on these play skins, and they're probably going to be super good long term. A mistake I made with gloves, and I should cover this as well because it kind of correlates, is I would constantly look at glove prices. I would look at hedge mazes at $3,600, and I'll show you guys this. This was a huge mistake I made. I would look at them up here and I'd be like, wow, that's a lot of money for gloves. Or even at $2,000, I remember looking at them because, can I zoom in on this? How do I do this? Let me zoom in on this chart. It's like, this is the chart I was looking at pretty much. I'm like, oh, they went from $600 to $2,100, guys. You probably shouldn't buy. They're probably at an all-time high. They're probably not going to blow up anymore. Yeah, they're 10 grand. I'm stupid. Look how stupid I look. I do make mistakes. The biggest mistake I've made in this market is selling too early. So that's why I say now, just hold for a super long period of time. Even with the Karambit Damascus Steel at such a high price, essentially at all-time highs, it could very well go much higher if the cases go much higher and the player count stays high. Because, I mean, that's where all the demand is. People don't want to pay $6,000 for a Karambit Doppler, and that's what the base cost of one is. It's $3,000 for a normal Karambit Doppler, not even a Gamma Doppler. So it's crazy what's going on in the market right now. I don't even want to say the prices are unjustified because people are clearly willing to pay for them. So try and find some good cheap stuff out there. And there is plenty of normal skins as well that have performed super well, like the M4 Print Stream. You want to look for these skins that are in old Operation collections, in the old cases and stuff like that. And all those cases have gotten so much more expensive that the skins have blown up as well. $40 to $400. That's a 10x, and it hasn't even been 5 years. It's been like 3. No, it's been like 4. It's been like 4 years still. I mean, if you aren't happy with a 10x in 4 years, I don't know what to tell you guys. You might as well start betting on green at the casino. Because, I mean, if you're not happy with that, I don't know what to tell you. But don't sleep on cheap skins. They are some of the best performing items in the game. Of course, you can note the cases were all 3 cents. Well, maybe not all, but most of the cases were 3 cents at one point. And now they're like $4, so it's crazy. Don't underestimate how high items could get in this market. I'm always a fan of holding long term. I never show you guys my inventory. I am loaning a few things out, but you can see your boy has a lot of play skins and a lot of random stuff, and I just hold on to it for a super long period of time. It's pretty cool. So look, M9 Freehand Classic Slaughter. There's a bunch of random skins. Of course, I got my high tier stuff as well, but I'm a really big fan of just these random knives because they've been some of my best items to hold. So, I think that is going to wrap it up for this one. Check out the sponsor with that link at the top of the description, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.